Optimizing your system. I wish someone would do that to me in real life. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Talos Principle 2. Surprise! There's a DLC, and I guess today I'm... Ooh. My OBS is freaking out, probably because of this thing optimizing my system right now. I probably shouldn't have started recording it. I'm extremely professional, which is why today, I guess I am gaming press and was given an early code to this DLC, and it's under embargo, and I have to release it at a very specific time, and also I'm only allowed to play a really specific part, so if my behavior seems less freeform than before, it's because there's like rules and whatnot. Anyway, there's a 3-part DLC, Orpheus Ascending, Isle of the Blessed, and Into the Abyss. This is all like a follow-up on the main game, and as far as I can tell, apparently each one is standalone, so they don't like, there's not really like a sequence to the 3, and the one I'm supposed to play today is Isle of the Blessed. I can do whatever I want once it actually comes out, but when I'm playing early, I'm supposed to play a very specific part of this one. Yesterday we obeyed kings and bent our necks before emperors, but today we kneel only to truth. The rest of it is gone already. Wait.
We're approaching the island now. Looks nice. A lot less threatening than the megastructure. I mean, no offense. It's just less pointy.
No offense taken.
We're back with my favorite boy.
He's done an incredible job creating this exhibition. And what a lovely opportunity to spend some time together as a family. So, Yakut, Miranda tells me you'll be solving some of the puzzles?
Did she? I hadn't really thought about it, but,
You know, back in my day, all we could do was solve puzzles.
that's right, in the simulation. And we're all very grateful for it.
So you know how important puzzles are to this family.
Mom!
Of course, I'm gonna solve all the puzzles, even the freaky giant cube.
I hear Barzai's even created gold puzzles and star puzzles. It's going to be just perfect for you.
Oh, that's great. Yay.
Yakut, don't listen to them. They're terrible old robots.
What? I'm the founder. Everything I do is serious.
I can confirm that.
What? Okay, this is interesting. It's a
Hello.
goofy family vacation.
So glad you could make it.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. How are things on Barzai's Island?
Barzai seems pretty pleased. 1K and Melville got here this morning. 1K's already solved all the puzzles, of course. And Melville's somewhere. She was testing the sensory receptor upgrade. Al's here, too. I haven't talked to him yet.
You should do that.
Maybe. Meanwhile, relax, enjoy yourselves, and I heard you were going to be joining in the puzzling, Yakut.
He can do whatever he wants to. You don't have to solve puzzles to impress me, Yakut.
No, are you kidding? I can totally do this.
Excellent. Well, good luck, and we'll see you around.
So I'm Yakut. 1K is here separately, so I'm not 1K. So I get to actually just be the character I like. That's funny. So right when it was starting up, it showed us, look at that. It showed us that camera angle of that crab, and all I could think of is the dancing crabs meme that I think is from some kind of commercial or music video that's gone around on the internet for years, and it looked like so accurate to my memory that I thought they were explicitly fucking with me. And they might have been, because this is seemingly a silly storyline where looks like Yakut is now dating or in a relationship with Miranda and has been brought into Athena's family, and Athena's here and they're like, what, I'm the founder, everything I do is so serious, and they're just fucking around. They're having a fun little time. Someone made like a puzzle theme park essentially. They just said gold and star puzzles out loud, like they're just overtly, like, it was already weird that the main game sort of recreated the exact same reward structure that was in the first game, when in the first game it was a secret, and this one it was like just a bespoke part of the pattern. But now we've gone full self-parody, where now we are just joking around about the entire idea of there being a bonus campaign or post-game content or like the completionist stuff, because they just are saying it out loud. Like the characters know it exists now. The characters know about star puzzles and gold puzzles, so it's just a wacky theme park. This center structure is definitely an eye-catching thing to hit us with immediately, because it's like a big diagonal structure where like just moving around in it has to be very strange. I'll be curious to see if the puzzles genuinely feel different there, or if it's just a disorientation trick, akin to like how the final area of the Witness had some puzzles that were new-ish and some puzzles that were just kind of like obscuring information by disorienting you. Anyway, we're back in Talos Principle.
I see we have a new group. Welcome to my latest exhibition, Freedom from Necessity. There are many puzzles for you to solve here, inspired by the events that restored Athena to us. But the most important thing you have to keep in mind is their purpose, which is none. We are not here because of voices in the sky or tragedies of the past, but because we choose to. We solve puzzles because it is joyous, it is beautiful, and it is human.
It is funny. Just a full-on admittance that, like, all of the lore and pretense and justification is kind of a side thing, and ultimately we are just here to solve the puzzles themselves, and those are their own reward. Which is why, like, oftentimes the reward for solving puzzles is getting more puzzles, because if you don't get more puzzles, then, like, well, then the game's over, and then you're out of thing, and that's funny. The idea that it's an in-universe art exhibition where because the characters themselves have so much puzzle solving that has a purpose, so what if they just had puzzles that didn't serve a purpose and they could just feel differently, it's funny. It is worth noting that it's seemingly a 3-part expansion, so only this part is the one that we've at least so far been told is textually pointless in the game. I don't know what the other two are going to be yet. I could have known if I read the descriptions, but I kind of blew past that and just went in. To access the hexahedron, you must power up all 3 lighthouses by solving 8 puzzles in each section. Simple. I forgot about these.
In New Jerusalem who fear that understanding the language of creation is the end of our journey. But that is like saying that literacy is the end of learning, when in fact it is the beginning. Only now are we really capable of reading the great and terrible book of the universe. And only now can we start to write our own chapters.
Someone's just not at the sign. Once you've solved the hexahedron, as well as every other puzzle in the exhibition, 3 gold puzzles will become available. There's no prize for solving them except in your heart. It's just explaining the gold gate now. As Prometheus tricked the gods, you can trick your way out of solving my puzzles using sparks. There's a tutorial, there's an in-universe tutorial for the level. There are 6 monuments on this island. That's way more than normal. Inspired by the dream figures that express Athena's deepest thoughts. But there are no secret vision hidden behind cryptic sayings. Solve them only if you enjoy them. So there are 6 of them instead of 2 of them per chapter, because there were previously 2 per chapter. And they're just like, man, if you don't like these parts, just don't fucking do them. Just the developers are just giving you permission. Like, man, I know it's like completionism, but like, if you think these parts of the game suck, like, stop. But I have a gun to my head because I'm making content, so that doesn't apply to me. I am expected to usually do the thing. The gun to the head is I don't mean the developers, I mean the viewers who want me to do the thing. Did I already read all of them? I think so. Let's see. I did want to run up to the thingy. So there's a stall here, but no one's there. It says be right back, which does make me wonder if someone will show up later. The structure looks kind of wild. Oh. So no, they're not going to just be cheaply disorienting us with a confusing to look at map because it all looks like this, and then it's just normal puzzles. Because immediately, I just orient myself to the platform and can walk around like normal, and just the landscape around there looks like it's going to make viewers seasick.
Activate the lighthouses before I can solve this, which is good because it looks terrifying, and I'm not ready.
Looks like somebody needs their life jacket. He's afraid to go in the deep end. Can't believe I never made that joke the entire main game. I guess he wasn't really doing much the main game. These statues we're used to. I have to re-familiarize myself a little bit with like the game's visual language because it's been months. So for a second there I thought that was one of the monuments, but now I remember there's just like these green oxidized statues everywhere. Oh my goodness. This having the landscape be tilted the whole time I'm doing this is going to be wild. Let's see, if I jump down there, there's I forgot. You can technically die of falling damage, can't you? I think. Eventually. You have to fall pretty far. I was focused on not falling in the water, because the water would I believe water drowned you in this game and took you out. Yeah, I remember walking into the water on purpose to respawn. And then I was like, oh weird, that one audio log played, that one voice line played again. That's weird, that feels like a bug. And then people are like, no, it's because you died after the first time you listened to it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not used to thinking about death in this game and checkpoints, because it's this game. It specifically removed the one enemy that actually killed you. Alright, so this is a beautiful island resort expansion chapter. I'm allowed to explore in this first episode that's embargoed, but I'm only allowed to solve the puzzles on the red island. Which seems like it'll be enough. That seems like an entire chapter's worth. I don't think I'm gonna run out. Alright, so I guess we'll get started then. And also I should read some of these messages, which were in the tab menu. There we go. Extinction Prevention Working Group. Sarabai. This group is going to be looking for the best methods for preserving a number of species that are threatened by non-anthropogenic factors, i.e. they are dying out due to being outcompeted, failing to adapt to changing conditions, diseases, etc. If you want to join, please contact myself, Hypatia, or Aranax. Or just join via the projects interface available in the new update. Doge? I remember Doge. They have the goofy name. They have a meme name and a meme number. I would like to join. I have a fondness for marsupials. The little blighters don't stand a chance once continental drift smushes a few landmasses together. Can I join despite my history? I've switched to a less irritating voice pack. I've added you to the group. We do not blacklist people, Doge. He's just known for annoying the fuck out of people. Wait, wait, wait. 1007. They went back to making people. It's canon. I was 1K, and now there's 7 more people at least. I've spent a lot of time considering the reality of extinction lately. How desperately sad it must be that to be the last of your own kind. And the thought that this will just continue happening to so many species, even if we don't have a major impact ourselves. It makes me experience a sense of cosmic horror. There is no horror in nature taking its intended course. If a species was meant to go extinct, it will. I don't think anything's meant to happen, dude. And that's scary, I know, but that's why we've got excellent people like Sarabai trying to do something about the bad stuff, you know? That was the person that existed 2 people before me. Let's read one thing per puzzle. Pace that back and forth a bit. It is nice to come back and just kind of interact with the writing. I was mixed on Talos Principle too. I like the puzzles. I like the writing. I think the story kind of lost... Ooh. The floor's doing weird stuff right now. Some object culling that's doing something strange. I wonder why. Well, this DLC is not out yet. But I just feel like the narrative kind of lost momentum in the second half. And also the dilemma was not interesting enough for it to be proposed as much as it was throughout the game. Hello. Some kind of pattern, and you press them in this order. It's probably just a series of pillars again, where you activate those ones and not the other ones. Either way, it's mixed into my stuff. Overall, it felt like maybe the game could have used more side tangents like this and less of a massive main story, because the main story, I felt like it kind of buckled under its own weight eventually. So you started to really feel the game's length.
One of the worst things ever to happen to the arts is the notion that art should have a purpose. That it is a tool for political enlightenment or self-realization, or a replacement for our duties as citizens. This is a form of pompous and cowardly self-flattery that artists are particularly prone to. I speak from experience. No, it is the very fact that art serves no purpose that gives it a touch of the divine. Why does the creator create? Because he chooses to. What is the purpose of the world? To exist. The same is true of art. Oh, art may be suffused with passion, with themes, even, if you are sufficiently careful, with autobiography. But it is not a tool. Like the creator, it says, I am that I am. And that is enough.
This guy's kind of a jackass, isn't he? No, it's fine. What he's saying isn't dumb, but it's not entirely self-aware, it feels like, because he's talking about how art has no purpose, which, like, obviously art very frequently has a purpose and is it constantly says something, and it's always mired in the politics of its time and cultural context, and it usually is trying to say something or accomplish something. But even when it's not, it's so full of context that it serves a purpose, but also people do something for a purpose and for a reason. It's not always simply for the act of creating for the sake of it, but that can be, like, practice and so on. But what I find amusing is that he has to spend so much time explaining his own lack of purpose and his own lack of meaning. And that level of pretense and explanation inherently feels like it's contradictory to his own, I don't know, Dadaist approach to himself, whatever the fuck he's doing. And I'm like, alright, you're sure having to spend a lot of time explaining your art that doesn't need explanation, it doesn't have a larger meaning or anything. It's not even the first time he's done that.
You can do this.
Ah, it's the bubble guy. Okay, I remember you. We have one of these guys. Let's see. So this bubble powers things when it's connected to a beam within its radius. But you can't go in the air because you need a platform to hold you up. Okay. And the exit's right here. I was just thinking about something. This... I'm actually trying to remember exactly what the rule for this thing is. Doesn't it, like, power things within its radius, but slightly paradoxically, doesn't it turn off barriers that are within its radius? Isn't that, like, part of the trick? I believe I'm supposed to bring it over here while the beam's connected, and that'll make it turn off the door. Let's see. So there is a block in here, which is probably the platform I need to go up there, and that seems to be all that's really here, so... Let's see, let's get you in range to affect both barriers. That might be close enough. When I do this, it'll probably keep the door open. Yep. And the other door open. Yep. And now I've got a block. And now I can do the thing what I did a second ago. Wasn't that exciting? Now it goes up and it'll drop the other thing down here. And ba-da-ba-da-ba. Made a horrible mistake. Wow!
That's it. I did it. Don't sound so surprised. You're not stupid.
I am wondering what's up with the score system up in the corner. So we have numbers 1 through 10. 9 and 10 are different colors than the other numbers. And then there's 0 out of 10 green and 0 out of 10 blue, which are themselves, that's especially new. We had some kind of way of counting our puzzles that we've done so far in a chapter, but this... the green and the blue are just the other islands. That's what's going on with this interface. There's 10 puzzles per island. The 8 main ones and the 2 bonus ones. And then there's 10 on every island. Okay, sorry. Just caught up with that. It's because they're showing what's functionally 3 chapters worth of puzzles in a single map. Because these used to stop at their 10. That was originally conceived as being maybe 8, but it wasn't. I'm still partial to just doing these in numerical order, because why not? New body types. Melville. I know everyone is very excited about the new options we have for modifying our bodies, and as per the latest decisions regarding bodily autonomy, you can pretty much do as you will. However, as I'm sure you all remember the Pellegrino centipede. That's terrifying. Pellegrino, what did you do? We're going to be requiring any desired alterations to pass some basic safety tests, and we will be uploading some approved templates you can use in the body designer. Someone tried to make the Infinitar. Hermanubis. Impressive work, Melville. Your dedication to safety is truly inspiring. Major Byron could not have picked a better person for the job. I can't wait to try the new anti-grav drone bodies. Being able to fly wherever I want, I don't think I've ever wanted anything more. We don't need new bodies. We need to learn to accept ourselves as we are. Darling, if you believe that it matters, you can keep your body just as it is for as long as you like. But if Arina wants to fly, let her fly. Niam's right. Sorry, Malduk. It'd be beautiful to see Arina fly. Who are you, and what have you done with the real Thekla? People change. People are having arcs. Arcs that are a little hard to measure because you have to memorize every single name in the long term, which is a bit of the struggle I had in both games, but I remember Thecla being a pain in the ass. I am sensing a trans allegory. So yes, allow them to fly. Laser circus. Alright. A block that is unhelpful for my lasers. Okay, so yeah, let's bring this over here, because it's the only one that has a device behind it. RGB converter. Okay. So this is the one that requires 2 beams to make 1/3 beam. So there is no blue receiver. I can combine blue and red to make green. Which gives me another RGB converter. So now if I combined blue and green, I could make red, and that would open the exit. There's a fan behind here, which would let us be able to shoot over the walls, which seems important. I don't know if I saw a spot to put the fan. Oh, there's more in here. Okay, this is legitimately a lot of pieces here. Okay, so green and red. No. Green and blue to make red. And now we have access to enough converters that you could probably just take over all color concepts on your own. I don't see anywhere to put the fan, so I think the fan might be here just so that you can put it on this button. Because then you can shoot a laser more easily over the button without the block getting in the way, and we can use the block to make a fan, one of these lasers go higher, which means that it won't cross. Because right now we have our primary thing stopping our freedom is the fact that if the lasers intersect, they'll cut each other off. So I need to make a blue, which means I need red and green. Which means I need the other one to be making red, which I think it is right now. Yeah. I just need to move you over here. Now I can combine both of your colors to make the third new and exciting color. Ta-da. Because this room is vestigial. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. Okay, so. Alright, so. Red beam. So I need to make. Green is already here. That's good. So now I need to send a blue beam to this. Which means I need to be combining red and green. Red and green. That creates its own problems because, yep. That. Needs to be able to shoot over this to get the red. Da 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 da.
This place is so exciting. I don't know what to do first. What are you guys doing?
Athena and I are down by the beach. You're welcome to join us if you want to. All of you.
I'm still testing the sensory receptor upgrade.
Want me to help? Maybe we can compare notes.
Sure, if you want to experience some really weird input.
I'm trying to find a nice view. Hold on, is Yakut the only one doing puzzles?
Welcome to my world.
He did say he wanted to solve all the puzzles. I think I'm going to try swimming. Or diving, I suppose. I don't think I float.
Damn, I really should have gotten that insulation upgrade. I haven't been watertight in a while.
How will I swim with girlfriend? How will I... Let's see. I can't remember if 1K was gendered in the main game or not. It is really disorienting to hear your character's voice. Which I guess already happened with Athena. But now Athena is being normal instead of a deity figure. So now we're walking around and Athena and 1K are just around and talking. Well, we're a different character entirely. But we're also playing a character who speaks himself because he was an established character before we took control. Is wormhole travel safe? Seeing another planet sounds exciting. I know I previously argued against it, but after all the stories I've heard, I really want to go. But the idea of stepping through a wormhole just creeps me out. It's the teleporter problem, but except not quite, or maybe not really. The transporter problem is about the idea of being reconstructed, whereas the wormhole is the opposite example of space letting you go through, because space breaks. The idea of stepping through a wormhole just creeps me out. What are the chances I just get blown to smithereens? And no, you can just back yourself up doesn't work for me. I believe in continuity of consciousness. They are doing the teleporter problem, even though it doesn't make sense because it's not a teleporter, it's a wormhole. No. Our perception drivers still have trouble handling the transition, so you will experience disorientation. If you're going through in a ship, I would suggest turning on sleep mode or at least disabling visual input and balance sensors. That does not sound encouraging. All the wormholes we're using at the moment are based on pre-existing patterns in the fabric of reality. They're completely stable. However, if you make a fuss when going through, I may disintegrate you myself. If Melville says they're safe, then we know they are. There's plenty of amazing places to explore here on Earth. Exactly. So far, we haven't found any planet that's half as amazing as our home. We must never lose sight of what an incredible place this is. You're right. I barely traveled at all. There's a lot happening right here. Maybe I'll join the search for Leifthrassir. That sounds exciting. I forgot for a second, and I almost went back to my old, like, Winston-y voice that I was giving 1K. And then I was like, hang on a minute. I have to do a Yakut impression. The bilateral challenge. Hello. But yeah, they're doing the transporter problem, but the thing about the transporter problem, or the teleporter problem, is that, like, at least in terms of Star Trek, you're talking about, like, a transporter that literally disintegrates you. But it does, like, essentially, it basically disintegrates you, but does a scan of you, and then it reconstructs a copy of you at a separate location, and that copy of you believes that it's you because it has all your memories and thinks it existed a minute ago. But given that the human soul isn't really like a thing, how is that other copy of you actually you? It's you for all intents and purposes. It will continue on through life as you. Everyone around you will believe it's you, and you will believe it. Then they will believe that they're you. But you seemingly just got disintegrated and killed by the teleporter, and a perfect copy was made elsewhere. And it just makes all of Star Trek quietly horrifying. And there's a lot of episodes that engage with this idea that even make it more horrifying. And then I think I've heard that there in more recent seasons might have been episodes that kind of retconned it or kind of contradict this very long debate. Either way, if I ever make a video about it, I need to go back and actually watch all of Star Trek, which is terrifying, which is why I keep not doing it. But it's been a recurring argument in our Lethal Company playthrough, which I guess started after I played this game. And it's also the first episode of our podcast was just the transporter problem. So I've thought about this. But specifically, and this might not be true to the science of wormholes, so I don't freak out there, but I don't see a wormhole as being an example of the problem, because at least in terms of fiction, like, because I mean, this is all fiction, these are all generally things that can't usually happen in real life, even though wormholes do exist in real life, but like, when we're talking about teleportation, we're generally talking about technology that's not actually applicable, it's sci-fi concepts. I've always said that the example of transportation I would want to have as like a superpower would be not to teleport via upsetting teleporter problem stuff, but to have the ability to make a portal. Because if you make a portal and you walk through the portal, then like all of time and space had to like allow you to do that, as it had to warp for you, but you, the human being, just took a step forward and now you're over here. Like nothing happened to your body in that process because space folded to let you through. That might have horrifying world-ending consequences if something goes wrong with that process or something. And there's also maybe the subtle worry that maybe you're in a different universe now and not the same universe you started in. But overall, it does dodge the original teleporter concerns. So it does have that going on. Anyway, so that's my inevitable conversation that was going to happen the moment they brought up the teleporter problem, but then also miscategorized it by having it be about wormholes. Because he talked about, I believe in continuity of self, and I'm like, okay, now you're using the vocabulary that this debate uses, but the character having the debate is wrong about the concept here, because it's fine. Anyway, red beam go up here. I'm choosing not to knock that thing down, because it just seems like it's meant to be up there, but I can always bring it down later, because by just writing this up. But this is all that's on this side of the puzzle, so let's go become the other person. It's a me, this guy. Oh. Okay. Ah. This is interesting. If I shoot the beam from there to there, this door opens and I win. And it's easy enough to get here because I'm already here, so that's not the obstacle. The question is, how do I shoot a beam from there to there? Because I have to be there to trigger it. So I need to be holding that laser and be in line of sight of this thing to click on it. Which, my first instinct would be to ride that cube up there. If I could ride the cube up there, then I could just go up there while holding that thing, then attach it to this. Then just go back down and put that thing on the cube and set it up. The potential concern there is that I don't think that this was controllable. Yep, that's the concern. So I can bump it off by just getting up here. And I can do the keep connections button. There we go. And now it's connected. Okay, well, if it goes through here, these beams... Okay, no. The beam can go through the purple, but the transmitter can't. And this, they have a block here just to make it so you can't turn the corner with the laser. So no, it's not about just bringing it over here. That'd be too easy. Too easy. This is a thing I can do for some reason. Step on this button to open this gate. But I'm actually unclear on how that is even helpful at the moment. A very goofy solution would just be the idea of, like, what if I threw it over the wall? What if they let me do that? Which would be very funny. But I don't think they're gonna let me do that. If you could throw these, I would just put it over the wall in an instant. And then there you go. It's over there now. And then I would just have to put that. It'd be pretty easy to connect that to that because of the fact that the the gate is down. In fact, that idea, that potential solution was inspired by the fact that the gate is currently down. Okay, so we can put the button here. This does make me curious. This is a thing that's never happened before, but... I can't see myself. I'm wondering if... I'll just be over here. I don't have to be over there. I'm wondering if it'll connect beams when I'm not that character. I don't think so. No. It was worth considering. Because that'd be a weird surprise solution. Is the idea that if you're not currently playing as the character, it doesn't count as you being there, and so the beam just connects. Because he can hold it. And I can leave him up there. See, this is making me wonder things. So I can press the button with that, which means this is still open. What happens if I put this under him? Will he stand on it? Is that the solution? Yes, it is. You put the block under yourself to... Yeah, okay. Because the problem here was, how do I use the fan and block together when I'm not allowed to actually interact with it that way? Because you can't turn it off. So I can't set down the beam.
Alright. Is your upgrade enabled?
Yep.
What does the air smell like?
It's... I smell iodine. Limestone. Is that you, Pete? Can I smell radiation?
You can, but you're looking at a painting and telling me what the paint's made of, not what's in the picture. What does it feel like?
It feels like summer. Like the day is still young, and there's endless possibilities ahead of us. What we are now is only the beginning, and there is so much more to discover and to become, and I think those dolphins are mating. Am I supposed to be able to smell that?
Right,
oh no.
Let's smell something else. Over there.
I think those dolphins are mating. Am I supposed to be able to smell that? They're deriving all this purpose and meaning from basic experience, so how is the other guy supposed to tell me that art doesn't have a purpose? This doesn't work. The Euclidean palette. But also, it's time to do another one of these. Miranda in the woods. This was a nice day. Went for a walk and it was lovely. You always see something new. I discovered 12 new insect species without really even trying. Cornelius, one small step. She's literally out of this world. Athena takes the very first step through a wormhole into another world. An important moment in our history. But that's not the reason I love this picture. It's because this is Athena as she was meant to be. Not reduced to the stern and hollow founder, but an explorer. A bright, shining light of reason and optimism, just like her mother. Thank you, 1K. I mixed up the names a bit. Whoops, right, Athena is the person we revived, not the founder. Right. This is their 15th match today. Someone should tell them they're evenly matched. Or do they know that? Is that part of the appeal? Why do they love this game so much? Are they even playing or just pretending to as some part of an elaborate joke? Wait, no, Miranda is the person we saved the life of, right? We brought her back in the true ending. And Yeah, because Yaku kind of had like a crush on her parasocially from the pursuit and like learning about her, and so it was like really tragic when he found out that she died. Athena is the person from the first game. Right, because her mother was the woman that made this whole program. That's what we're talking about. I was gonna say, as opposed to the literal mother, because I was thinking of the actual mother-daughter relationship that's in this game. But what's funny is that that's also not a mother-daughter relationship in the most true sense, in that not born, because no one's born, and no one has quite the normal growing up experience. I mean, adopted is still mother, I guess. So it is still more of a mother-daughter relationship than Athena and her creator, who never met her. I guess it's the two sides of that debate slash, or the two elements of that relationship, is that Athena raised Miranda, but didn't birth her, because you can't in this concept. She was created, essentially. Whereas, like, Athena was created by her creator, but they never met her. I guess it's not really a duality, because both of them are still created by their mothers. So that there's not really the contrast there. Anyway. Blue beam. Activate blue. Green beam go there. Annoying red beam. It's attached to it, but it can't go through this wall, so it'll never work. This has to be deactivated by something else, it looks like, because there's no mechanism for it. This one's probably deactivated by having a blue beam go into it, which means that if I open this, then it'll stay open if it's being shot into this, which isn't actually, it's actually not currently being told to do that. It will if I do this. So that'll keep that open once it opens. The grav shifter. I guess I missed. There we go. The blue beam is connected to the blue beam. Right. Right. Oh, there's a... Oh, I saw the red receiver up there and thought it was related. That's a super beam, right? I think the idea is that's supposed to be the super beam you do by finishing the entire zone. And not just a red receiver I could just shoot right now with a red beam. Because I think it's like the super beams we saw in the megastructures, because they're... I guess that's the idea, yeah. They made a megastructure to reference the real megastructure, but it's one that's less exorbitant. Okay, so that's not a connector, so I can't just redirect the blue beam quite like that. I can stuck it over here. It's able to get a red beam as a source. It can receive a red beam here, and if it was connected to red and blue beam at the same time, it would create a green beam. A green beam casserole. Which is itself not helpful, because nothing needs a green beam at all. Oh, here's a green source. I don't want to create a green beam. If I connect it to the green source, then it'll now create a third color wherever I send it. So if I back this up, I should be able to connect the blue beam. There we go. It might be better just to keep them all connected. Ooh. Oh, I thought it was creating a purple beam, but it's as these overlap, it creates a purple visual. Which is funny, because this thing is supposed to be combining colors, right? Like, the idea is that, the red and green makes blue, and blue and green makes red, and so on. But then when I do overlap the layers visually with my eyes, it makes purple. It does not make one of the colors that itself is available here, which suggests that it should not be making... It should not be doing what it does, essentially. That's goofy. So it feels self-contradictory. Let's see. Well, if I have this, I should also just connect it to the other blue beam. So now this is being kept open, and it's opening this, and now I just need to get a red beam, which means I need this to switch over, because I want it to... I guess the idea is it's currently shooting a red beam out. Am I able to grab these? Kind of got a chaotic laser situation that's hard to parse right now, but I believe it's currently emitting red. Yeah, the pulsing has a directionality to it to let you tell whether things are going in or out. It's currently putting red out, so if I connect it to that, we win. But it's only making red because it's getting blue. It's getting green from this source to make red. It's getting blue from this source, but also from there. So I don't need to give it blue directly. But the problem is I can't take either of these down to redirect it to that. So I guess I should check to see whether or not the game will let me grab it. No. So I can't grab this, so we're not allowed to change what it's currently connected to. And it does make things messy. So it needs to be receiving blue and red. And whichever one it's currently at, it will get automatically. Okay, I couldn't see the silhouette very clearly. Yeah, it should be kind of useless to have it over here. There's nowhere to open this side. There's no hidden stands. I'm missing something here. Oh. Is it that when it's over here it gets green on its own, so I don't need to be giving it green? Yep, it was that simple. It's that when you bring it back here, it already has green. So this was basically, the puzzle was basically just to open this door so that the blue could actually reach it in the first place, because green already could. Whoops.
So, Byron, have you talked to Alcatraz yet?
Not yet. He was talking to Barzai, and I didn't want to interrupt them.
Uh-huh.
Barzai. Ooh, hello. Fifth epistle. The epistles of Straton of Strageria are generally considered to be pseudo-epigraphical. Not an easy one. Pseudo-epigraphical, written centuries after Straton's death. They are often associated with radical movements in Hellenistic Judaism, although this identification remains controversial. Only fragments of 3 out of an allegedly 21 epistles survive. The 5th epistle, regarding the world to come. What good is knowledge of virtue, brothers, if it does not make the world more virtuous? Is wisdom to be hoarded by those few citizens that can afford the time to study, and then lost upon their death? Text illegible. Yet, likewise, it is with those who castigate with the philosophers and say the path to virtue is already known. How convenient for them that nothing need be changed. We must learn to make greater demands of ourselves, of those who claim the right to rule us, and of philosophy itself. For all of these must serve the world that is to come, in which the toils and sorrows of our children upon the earth will be ended. Then every man will be a philosopher, and even the lowliest cook will have the wisdom to rule, and then shall begin. Text illegible. This world will come, I assure you, though it may take many years. And when it has come, those of us who failed to work towards its coming will be judged harshly. And then Barzai is the one commenting now. Do we live in the world that is to come? And if we do, how do we judge those who fail to do their part? I myself do not condemn them, but pity them, and hope that we can give meaning to all the lives that brought us here, including theirs. Ba-da-ba-dam. I think it was putting me this way, though. 5's to my left, yep. The tragedy of knowledge and progress being lost upon death. Obviously subverted by a game where everyone's immortal. Ish. Pretty immortal. I mean, you can still die. You just don't die of age. So dying is extremely uncommon, but it has happened. The perpendicular procedure. Got another wall one. These are always amusing. This opens up there, and not down here. What opens down here? Red beam. Okay. Oh, it's perpendicular because there's a second wall that's perpendicular to the other wall. Hi. What have I wrought? Don't get disoriented. This always takes me back to playing the original Prey and just that feeling in my head. I just get for just a second when I change which way's up and down in these games. It really fucked with me in the first Prey game from the Xbox 360 era, not the Prey game that I love a lot. You just walk up a ramp, like there would just be a curvy ramp, and you just walk onto the wall, and you're like, my brain. You have a block for some reason. I guess there must be a burrower somewhere in this puzzle, but I'm not sure where that was. Put block on button to do thing somehow, but I can't get there. I could put block there to hold it open. That seems reasonable. Oh, up here. Right, I saw that at the beginning too. I'm like, there's gotta be more puzzle. Okay, we have a burrower and a red beam, and the red beam's connected only there. I can just use the burrower from the ground. I don't have to be on the wall when I use that. We might be meant to put this on the wall here. At the very least, this block has to end the puzzle here. Because some... Well, not the block specifically. In fact, the burrower could do that. The burrower kind of only has one job, which is to point at that one spot. So might as well do it while also pressing the button. Now it's got two jobs. Wow. In fact, that even makes sense, because now I could go up here and put you on this button. So what happens when I step on the second button? That makes the barrier in front of the red beam go away. I guess the question is, do I need that? Probably because it's in the puzzle, but... Okay, yeah. The floor/ceiling also has a barrier up there, so you can't shoot the beam down here either. That wasn't as apparent there because I couldn't see it past its brother. There was two barriers. Meanwhile, this is the only laser connector I currently have, I believe, and without it, I can't go inside the puzzle up here because it's also opening the blue beam. Does it have to be here specifically? So it can connect over here. I think you can see why this is interesting, because I can put it by the hole, which allows me to go around here, move you to the other spot, then grab you. Huh. Well, it felt like something. So I need to get it over here or down there to be able to connect. With the red beam. So I could do that from over here. Basically right here is the one spot where you can do both. But the struggle is that when I pick this up, this beam recreates. Interesting. But yeah, we functionally don't need that to be powered by that anymore, so we can just move on from that because we're above the barrier. I can do this and walk around on foot. But I can't get around the barrier once I do this. Is it helpful to reconsider some of these options? I technically don't need the burrower anymore. Except it has to press the button in the end. And also I can't get here without it, really. They were careful about putting cages everywhere. Let's see, can I even see it from over here? You can technically kind of see it from over here, but overall I think you're meant to be here in order to use the beam. I don't think they're expected to go on the ceiling there. So my goal is to get that over here. But this button has to stay pressed because that's what makes it so that the red beam can leave its chamber. That button doesn't need to stay pressed if I can find a way to be on this side of the wall at the time. I'm wondering if there's anything that involves like rewinding back and like opening this door again, but I don't think that's helpful either. Not unless I'm going to get a new asset in here. But even if I did get this up here, the burrower, to press a button, I won't have the burrower available to press that button at the end, because I need to be able to go... That top door needs to be open in order for that beam to connect to that. Huh. I'm missing something here. I can always reset. I can always jump off the wall and go back. I can't go back through the hole, but I can just jump off the wall by climbing off, which is part of what I'm exploring when I do this. Nah. That's not good. I don't know if I can fix that without doing the manual restart. I trapped everything. I trapped the assets inside there, including the beam one, so I can't move them when I fall in the hole. Anyway. Right, the burrower came from up there. Because some of the hidden objects are often slightly less puzzly and more, hey, if we make you go here to find the burrower, you'll also have to have looked at and engaged what the level actually is shaped like. Which is always fair. I can always grab a burrower and grab it from this side. I wonder if I should just engage with the idea of solving this differently. The burrow hole's not doing anything at this point. It's really that simple, huh? Yeah, no, it really is just take this with you up here as an extra item and don't leave it down there and the puzzle's solved. Because what I can do now is grab this and just jump off the wall. I wonder if the thing I was stuck on was even legible to outsiders, the specific thing that was mentally blocking me. Yeah. Because I guess I was thinking like I can't use the burrower because it's like ammo, like it's our budget of items. I need one of the items to be on the button, so I can't leave it up there because I'll need it later. Just like that's the core of this puzzle. It's not the perspective. The part of this puzzle that matters is that normally when you lock something in a room behind an energy gate, like you're locking it in there, and that's a huge problem in these games. And so like this puzzle isn't about like, oh, the walls are crazy, look at how the angles are so disorienting and stuff. The puzzle here is realizing that you can just opt out of the level. You can just cheat. You can just grab an item and hop out of the level and be like, nah, I don't care that it's surrounded by walls and energy barriers. Like, I can literally just gravity off the wall and take it anyway. So I logically broke the concept of how these puzzles normally work with the energy barriers by just being like, nah, and then bringing it over here. And the funny thing is that I obviously engaged several times with the idea that you can just hop off the wall to break certain elements of it, but I was still being mentally blocked by elements of that idea because it's so effective at being confusing. Like, that's just... Even when you're conscious of what's happening, it still logically is a limitation you're used to dealing with, and it's hard to think around it. I forgot to actually finish the level.
How's it going, honey?
5 puzzles down. So far, so good.
Excellent. Calling you honey sounds weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Then what? Darling? Sweetheart? Babe? Muffin? Cupcake?
I don't even eat food. Maybe just my name?
Aww, you're cute.
You're cute. That's a name. Hello, Byron. It's been a while.
Hey, Yakut.
How are you doing, Byron?
How you doing, Byron?
I'm doing well, thank you. I still have a lot to learn, but at least we're moving forward now. You've helped a lot too, Yakut, even though you never take credit for it.
No offense, but how come you came to the exhibition?
1K suggested that I needed to stay in touch with what's happening on the ground, what the people I represent are actually doing. To remember that this is about human beings, not spreadsheets. I think that's pretty important in order to avoid repeating the whole founder situation. Besides, a lot of citizens are getting directly involved with running things, so it's not like I have to be there all the time. And, well, I heard Al was here and... Never mind.
Is there anything that worries you about the future?
I think we have to start thinking about changing the way we organize society. It was all pretty simple when we were bound to one city and one planet, but Mayor isn't really an accurate title for what I do anymore, is it? We'll need better systems, but we'll also have to make sure those systems are democratic, not bureaucratic.
Do you have any relationship advice for me?
Never let anything fester. It's not conflict you have to be worried about, but resentment.
Any news about that weird anomaly Athena discovered?
According to Melville's latest calculations, if we built a Noema machine as big as the moon, we could reach the anomaly in about 42 billion years. So I think it's not a priority right now, even though I'd really, really like to know what it is.
Did you solve any puzzles?
I did. Even Melville did a few. But 1K just rushed through them. Had the time of his life. I guess he just loves puzzles.
Have you been avoiding Alcatraz?
Avoiding? No. Not exactly. I just thought he'd come round, you know? Once he saw that we weren't blowing up the planet. But maybe I waited too long. I don't know. And now it's awkward, and I'm not sure how to fix it.
You fix it by talking to him.
It's not that easy.
The immediate contradiction of you talk to people. That's how relationships work. You don't let it fester. And you should talk to him. It's not that easy. It has been a while though, hasn't it? Not in their scale of time, like this guy's been around for 1,000 years. I'm assuming it's currently the year 1007 because they make one person a year, I think. And the person we've encountered is 1007 is the highest number we've seen so far. That's my really iffy guess. That's also not probably accurate because that person didn't seem exactly new. But if it has been 7 years, that's a long time. But it's also not a long time when you're 1,000 years old, which he is, at least. This guy specifically.
I appreciate that, but a friendship like yours is not something you throw away.
You're right. I know that. What Al and I have is special and rare, and I need to do better. I really do.
All right. Talk to you later.
Hello. That's our first conversation so far. Got plenty more island to poke around on as I try to find its secrets and whatnot. Alright, so back on course for 6. It is amusing just think about the idea that like 1K has just already preemptively solved this place, making it extra frees you of the idea of any of this mattering. Like not only is and by mattering I'm speaking in terms of like not necessarily what the guy meant as in like things are pointless and meaningless, but just in that there's no weight here. If anything, I think that this is all pretty meaningful because of the fact that it's like it is a chance at vacation. It's a moment of freedom. Like the art that is being expressed here is the sense of freedom and the relief, and that is its own purpose and its own weight. But like the original game was all about proving the ability to be human and creating a new humanity, and the second game was about like fates of like cosmic proportions and huge things. So like everything has been intensely important. So specifically having an island where you're free from importance means you actually get to just solve puzzles because you like them and have a bit of a vacation and all that. And so that is like a distinctly different emotional state to reach for these characters, and that's part of being human, and that's neat. But I'm just amused by the very specific detail that 1K already came here, already solved everything immediately. So we're relieved of even the having to worry about the idea of like play testing or successfully completing this island because somebody needs to do that for its own significance or its own like fulfillment as art to matter. No, 1K already did it. You're genuinely free from all shackles and all obligations. You are just here because you feel like it. Like that detail feels very clever that 1K has already solved the puzzles, and it's not just because 1K exists and would have solved the puzzles, but because of the specific fact that it complements what the narrative was already doing with this thing. Bring it out into swap. The swappers are back. It's a little impressive that Yakut's even solving these puzzles when you think about it, because it is involving seemingly every mechanic. So it's kind of complicated. They're not hugely difficult puzzles, but they are like, he has to have paid attention and known how all these mechanics worked on some level, because they're not being introduced in a tutorial-y sort of way by this expansion. And I just find that noteworthy. Okay, there's a barrier all the way over there and a barrier right over here. This one's activated by red. There's a connector up there that's you can't control, but anyone can latch onto it. I just can't move it. And then one on the ground, which I'll gain access to if I can open this door, and I'll be able to get a bit more freedom. That's a beamy guy. This is the inverter, which is the most easy to understand of the weird beams, because it just swaps the color. I don't remember if it does anything to green, or if they even ever use it in puzzles that can have green. Okay, so there's a gate here to narrow your angles, and then this barrier, which has no mechanism on this side at least. There's a red one on the back side. So I need to use the jammer to get through this side, then I can use a red beam to hold it open, and then use the jammer to open the next door, potentially. And this gives me a red beam, so that's an easy enough thing to source. But how do you open this door without a jammer? Is there a thing? That's concerning. We have a box. Will the box help? So right now my goal is to get the jammer past this wall. So I think I need the box so I can climb up here and grab it. There. And now the jammer can serve the same purpose, but from this side of the wall, allowing me a bit more freedom. But I don't think I can do this. I can do that. Okay, it is tall enough. I didn't think it was tall enough. So now that thing's dead to me. Fuck you. Ta-da! So I need to get the jammer to this to solve the puzzle, but I need a red beam to hold this open. Line of sight, it's not very hard to go from there to there, so that part of the red beam is easy. But the concern is that I lost this connector to that guy. Yeah, so I can shoot the beam to there. But this thing's currently on top of the block. And I believe we have no red source, we only have the blue source, so this has to be out to turn the blue into red so I can make any progress. It would be tempting to try to swap the jammer out for something so I could connect the red beam, but I can't do that till after I've connected the red beam. So the thing that connects this and the jammer have to exist at the same time, and then I need the jammer 1 second later. So that, yeah, there's no reason to swap the jammer out. Unless it temporarily gives me access to a step of this process. So my current struggle is that I want to grab this and take it over there to connect it to that red door and this thing. But the struggle I'm just now considering, I'm like, can I just get it through there? The struggle is that in the process of trying to get the beam to connect to this area, let's see. I don't think you can go far enough back to connect that to that because of the room size. You have to, so it has to be shooting the beam functionally through this energy barrier. So even if you put the thing back here, the jammer has to be active for it to connect. So it seems like activating that laser I'm trying to activate simultaneously requires the jammer to be there and this box to be there and this to be here. This definitely has to stay around because it's the only source of the beam. And it's a red beam, right? So it's not like I can't use the original blue beam for anything. The beam has to be converted, so we're not swapping out this guy because that won't accomplish anything. We can't swap out the block because then it'll fall down and not connect anything. The jammer is the most optional one for the moment, but only briefly. I feel like I'm missing an entire puzzle piece somehow. One thing I have considered is like, okay, yeah, it does not clear the beam over here. It does here. That's kind of interesting. That cuts that out of the system, so we don't have to connect to that, because I have a straight shot from there to there. But that also seems pointless. That does seem pointless, like it doesn't accomplish anything. Okay. I can jam any of these doors individually. Here it allows me to temporarily get this one back. But at what cost? I'm really blanking on this one at the moment. I'm surprised. Did I forget a whole component somewhere? I wonder if the answer is really obvious to people. I'm struggling because it feels like every piece is needed at the same time. Huh. Why? I feel like every component's needed simultaneously. Like, I can't take the jammer over there to jam the other door. It only jams one thing at a time. So I need either the block or the jammer to make it so the blue beam can even reach this side of the... Oh, wait a minute. This is something? So this allows me to connect the blue beam up through there. I was wondering about that, because I was partially like, why is there an increased height? Because you'll notice I found a straight shot that let me skip the height change anyway. But then I was like, what did that accomplish? Because it felt like an optimization to realize you could do a straight shot all the way to the back wall, which means that you never have to actually worry about the height change. And that felt like an optimization, but didn't actually solve anything. And I'm realizing now it's because the height changes so you can shoot over the wall from the other side. And now I can use these two objects like the same way you use two jammers in one of the first puzzles of the first game to alternate to take the two of them deeper. And this will functionally solve the puzzle. And that is how you continue forward without the block. I'm a dumb boy. Yay! My giant brain.
Take that. Barzai.
I can hear you, you know.
Sorry, that was a metaphor?
There we go. Just a few more to go. Alright, so next up is 7. Unless I want to go secret hunting. It's definitely an option. I just don't know how local the compass is to this island specifically. That's the next one. Let's see here. New Atlantis? Really? Look, I'm all in favor of building the underwater city, but do we really have to call it New Atlantis? Isn't that just tempting fate? The universe has a pretty dark sense of humor, you know. We shouldn't provoke it. I don't think it matters what we call it, as long as we build it right. The universe doesn't care. We all voted, Zemi. A New Atlantis won. At least we're not calling it a rapture, like Pellegrino suggested. I don't think he got the point of that game. That's funny as shit. That's really... I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. Yep. Just straight up just commenting on people failing to understand the political commentary of Rapture. It's very fucking funny. In particular because I covered that game a few years ago, and I had some very annoying people in the comments that also didn't fucking understand the game. And also people that will, like, I would make basic observations about the setting, like, oh, isn't that interesting how, like, the game has, like, a police system where drones hunt you down for committing any crime, and every single crime is punishable by death, apparently, but also you could just pay a fee at, like, a stall to just, like, stop the police from hunting you, and then you're just forgiven? Doesn't that seem like it's saying something about class, that people who can afford it are just above the law because they can just put money in the machine and not get punished by the police? Like, you're overthinking it, it's just a video game. Like, oh my fucking god, it's literally a game where the whole point is for it to have a point. Why are you... Covering anything that has a point in front of people is deeply frustrating because you have to... You're exposed to everyone's anti-intellectualism simultaneously. Sometimes you get interesting outside perspectives, but a lot of the times you just get stupid people. Let's see. Fucking, I don't think I got the point of that game. The idea that BioShock is canon is very funny. Let's see. Calling it New Atlantis is very funny. So yeah, it is kind of tempting fate when you think about it. And also, why New Atlantis? Because the original Atlantis wasn't real. So it's the new version of a fake thing from a myth. Like New Mount Olympus. I don't know. Let's see. I like it. I like it. It's time to give the myth a new meaning. I forgot the voice again for a second. I feel like Yakut might like it. I don't know. That's a lovely way of putting it, Yakut. Yeah, you should speak up more often. That's what I'm doing now, narratively, I guess, is speaking up more often. It is interesting to have suddenly having roleplay choice over Yakut, who might be written to have different choices available anyway than 1K had. Because he's a different character. Akin to like how when you have a blank slate-ish character in like a KOTOR or whatever, you can have much wider ranges of options for your good and bad choices and whatnot, but then when you're playing as Geralt of Rivia in Witcher 3, then now it's like, well, hang on a minute, man. This is a defined character with several books under in his past, and now even 2 past games, even if his memories are wiped, or were at one point. His personality is his like code of ethics and whatnot. Like those are things that would matter. All right, I can press this button. There's a burrowing barrier here, and there is a thingy here. You cannot burrow through a gate. It's very funny how this is the most powerful thing in the game. Like, they needed some kind of window type thing to counter all the other window type things, but they all mean different things. Like, this barrier nothing can go through, but it can be jammed or turned off. This one, just nothing can go through. Sometimes there is a button that lowers it, funnily enough, so it kind of can be removed, but only via buttons as opposed to via jamming. You have to be able to actually trigger the thing that makes the gate go away, if it can go away. And then you have burrows, and this is just fuck every other thing that walls ever do that are openable. This one can only be opened by this specific device in one exact way. So we have a variety of different wall rules to go with our variety of different laser rules. I'm up here now. I'm up here now. That doesn't make sense to anybody. We can take the fan off, which means we can also use that fan to press buttons if we want to. The fan's not very useful unless I have a block. There's the block. I can burrow through that wall, but everything's too far away from the wall for me to grab it, so I can't grab it. And this wall's controlled by the green beam, which is in there. Casserole denied. Okay, let's think about this one. So this will, is there a laser anywhere? Oh, green beam up there, okay. Oh, burrow surface. It's less apparent when it's high up because it looks a little different with the reflectiveness. Yeah, okay. So I can tunnel through that and put a green beam on this. So I need the block on this and the green beam on it, and then the tunneler pointing at that, and that will cause... Oh, this is activated by this button. I didn't realize that I was activating it earlier. Yeah. So something has to be here, and then the tunneler has to be shooting at that, but the tunneler can't be the one pushing this button because there's a gate in the way. So we have to tunnel through there while the green beam is up there on top of the block, opening that door, and then I can run in. So I need another object. This guy? Is that the tunneler? That is the tunneler. Okay, I just wanted to double check that's not like the gravity reverser. There's so many devices now. This guy does something. We basically need to get this out of here via the tunneler, I guess. What does pushing this button do? So something has to be pushing this button because when I pick this up, there's going to be a barrier in the way. Which cuts off the tunneler or traps it inside. Either way, you're fucked. Okay. We need this to solve the other thing, so the idea we have to sacrifice an item into here is a little whoops. Bad news for us. But I do need to get it out, right? Because if I grab that laser beam and I connect it to that and that, then I can tunnel through here and just plop it in here, and then it will connect that to that from inside the thing, opening this door and allowing me to just take out the tunneler. And I'll take all the devices out. So given that I've just kind of solved that part and everything else is like completely inaccessible, it does seem like getting the pieces we've seen out is what's mandatory. So I think we're gonna have to sacrifice this fan temporarily to do any of that. That makes sense. The fan isn't gonna be doing anything until the end. Do. We don't need you anymore, but and I have a second one. And given my talk of being like one item short throughout this process, I believe having a second tunneler solves like a lot of my problems. Speaking of which, this is now a completely pointless part of the map. No, it's not. It's the only source of the green beam, so I need to worry about that now. Or maybe I don't. Oh my God, I'm so chaotic right now, commentary-wise. Maybe I don't have to worry about the green beam. Because I think it's going to be floating in the air, right? So it's probably going to go high enough that it'll be able to get over the wall. And if that doesn't, I'll just assume that's going to work for now. And we'll be proven wrong later if I'm wrong. So given this, the second tunneler might be what I need to proceed. It does feel weird to immediately just kind of throw away our tunneler, but eh. Center it, I guess. Okay, so now I just need to power it and send it up. It does connect, but now I need to be able to get over there, which means this button needs to be pressed, which means I guess I do need that tunneler. There's no more devices around. This is like the one loose object. Wait, it lets me do that? Oh. Why'd that work? Why'd it stop working? Ta-da!
So how does this coconut taste to you?
It's kind of wooden, very crunchy.
Did humans just have weird taste, or is this some function of subjectivity? Without more precise data about the human brain, how do we even know this is what they experienced when they tasted a coconut? Bloody qualia.
I think you're supposed to have the inside.
No, but I like the crunchy bit.
Does it matter what it tasted like to them? We want to expand the horizons of human experience, not recreate them.
The girl has a point. 1K, let's try eating sand.
Yuck.
Let's try eating sand. They're torn between what are our goals here? What is our purpose, Father? It says 5 new ones. They must be somewhere else. 1K, look who I found. Could it be Melville? I felt it had been so long since I had hung out with my most terrifying friend, so I decided to go for a little trip. Watching her work at the height of her powers was genuinely moving and amazing, and yes, I will post that, even though Melville told me not to be all mushy. Miranda. Mr. Mayor, sir. Visiting Uncle Byron. That's Uncle Mr. Mayor, sir, to you. That's so many honorifics. Yakut and I had a lovely day with Byron. We spent hours in the Museum of the Ancient World. The new artifacts are incredible. There's an entire collection of perfectly preserved books that's so beautiful and so moving that I felt overwhelmed. It's mad. Our ancestors produced millions of books every year and somehow never noticed how remarkable that was. As always, thinking about them leaves one feeling impressed and frustrated. Afterwards, we attended a concert with Damyan. I'd never been to a concert before. I was surprised by how different it was compared to just listening to an album. It really is a whole experience. The best part, though, was watching Yakut dance. Yakut? I keep wandering around with my... The Riddle of the Citadel. I keep wandering back and forth with my pronunciation a bit. Oh, God. Hi. Didn't even know this was up here. How you doing? Oh, it's a beam. Source? There we go. Oh. Ah. Okay. Please do not consider the implications of creating such a pistoning device. Okay. Blue source. Red beam. So take it down here and put it here would make a lot of sense. I wonder why specifically I would want this elevator. Alright, now this blue source is going to this red thing. Got a connector. Add that to my budget. I need to survey what my goal is. Hello. If I shoot a red beam here, it'll blow this block down here. Might be its only purpose, just as a one-time thing. My goal is to go here. It's connected to this. So just a blue beam going here solves the puzzle. That's the relatively simple final outcome. That seems like it's hard to do. There's a wall up there to make it so you can't just connect from there to there. And the blue emitter is all the way over here, so that's going to be a hell of a journey to go on. But there's a red source here, and we can invert that into blue, but there's still a lot of walls in the way. Yep. Okay. Okay. I gotcha. Okay, so the elevator lift thingy is completely out of line of sight with the red destination. I also can't really bridge the gap from around here, because he's all the way over there. And the button has to be held open to get the blue beam to come out. I don't have any height tricks to pull here. Don't have a block yet. And I can't just do them as a series of connectors in the usual way, because they will invert the beam. Because yeah, like I could use them as two connectors to go from the red beam to zigzag slightly to get here, except we only have one connector and we have one inverter, so it'd become a blue beam. So I can't use that beam. It has to be the one that's behind the gate. And boy, that significantly reduces my options here. Oh, I also can't take it through here in the first place. Which means you kind of can't take anything up here, but also why would I want to? So putting a beam into this makes this whole thing descend. And I don't know why I want that. Hello. There's Prometheus's flame. That's fun. Okay, this one looks like a challenge. This thing ascending serves a purpose somewhere. And it's kind of interesting that you make it go down. You make it go down by powering it, not... it's not that you power it to make it go up. Let's see. Oh, it's weird how the panel, it looked like it was clipping through the wall. I guess it was technically free floating, maybe? Okay, so I can currently put something on there to raise it, but only can be down here when it's currently powered. Can't take this off. Ow. What am I trying to accomplish here? Funny thing is that I'm pretty sure you could just jump up here and grab this if they, like, I feel like they might have needed to specifically block you from doing that. I'm not getting the point of the elevator. Like, why work so hard to make it come down? What am I accomplishing in that process? Am I missing a whole device somewhere? I don't think so. It's just these two connectors for the whole puzzle. That's wild. And yeah, like, it's not very hard to go from the red source to there to around here. Except for the fact that this inverts it, so it doesn't work. And I'm curious how the block helps me in the puzzle. Ah, that's how you get the block. You just because you only have to. That's why they designed it, so you only have to have it work for a moment. It's a temporary part of the puzzle that's now behind us. Okay, so now we have a block. Still need to figure out what that's for, but I do have a block now, so that's exciting. So that part of the puzzle's dead to me. These two are both active because they're sources of beams. I don't know what the elevator's for exactly, but our goal is to get a blue beam over here. So it could be that the purpose is to have... Could be that it's just about getting a block up here. Because when it's on top of here, now I could connect... Maybe if it's perfectly centered or something, but like... I should be able to connect the red directly to the blue. Problem is I can't cover this gap. So this is probably a dead part of the level for me because the blue source, maybe not guaranteed dead. Probably dead though. Yeah. I can't connect from the blue source to the blue receiver with a single connector, and this makes it red, so it's probably useless to me now. So the puzzle is probably simply reduced to take this to there using these two connectors. So if I can get the inverter on top of this elevator, I think it would just directly connect that to that and solve the puzzle. But the obvious problem is that I'm currently holding the elevator up with that, and this lets me climb the elevator for free, but I can't take anything with me. So the question is, how do I get something over there right now? So all those angles are blocked, so I can't just put like a block here and project it from there to there directly, which would hold it up. It's not even making it over the wall. I need to be further away to make that angle work. Although maybe over here. Wow, it's really struggling. Okay, let's maybe take another look at that. That might be doable, actually. Ah, except for the part where it has to move then. So it has to specifically be on this side of things. So it has to be all the way back here. But given the angle, I don't see how to make it all the way back here without using multiple connectors. And then how do I move a connector if I need that in order to do that? One idea would be to have a self-sustaining connection. It's like there's a whole system where sometimes you open a door from one side, then you create a second backup system for keeping it open, and then you switch to that other system. But I don't see how we can accomplish that here, is the problem. That's what's currently screwing with me. But there's no way we zigzag. Because this is like, so this would be connector number 1. Connector number 2, connector number 3. So we need 3 connectors to get to here on floor, on the ground, on foot. That's what I was saying. But we don't have a third device at all, and we only have 1 normal connector and 1 inverter. So we're extremely not being helped out here. So this elevator is definitely the thing. But I can't, it's so hard to get the elevator to even activate that I don't get how to interact with it while also using any of the devices around here. I'm briefly considering like what do I do with like a back angle here, because if there was a connector on top of a block, it might be able to connect from there to here to there. But once again, one of them's an inverter, so the beam would be red. But I don't think there's anything productive to be done in thinking about this place anymore. But I'm also worried that I'm somehow I'm counting it out when it might be the solution somehow, but I don't see how that could be. And then, like, these are just dead pieces of the level as far as I can tell. So, yeah, it's fucking, I don't... My brain keeps rejecting this puzzle because I keep trying to think about it in terms of like having to light it up to power it up and raise it, but you're lighting it up to lower it, which is very weird. But that doesn't mean that the moment you light it up to lower it, but then the moment you try to move anything, it retracts back up. And my goal is to put stuff on it, but I need to use basically every piece available to me to make it go that way in the first place. What am I doing here? I can't move. If I move anything, it goes back up before I can react. And it's far enough back that you have to cover a pretty good distance to go anywhere. Oops. Maybe you make it work with the inverter being on the ground? I can grab them very quickly. This is something. No, I can't connect these directly across because they're not the right beam color. I think I just solved it though. Is it that goofy? Is it just you going, grab it? I guess so. Okay, we got it. We got something. Whew.
Byron, if you want to talk to Alcatraz, he's free right now.
Sure. I'll see if I can find him.
You know, it's funny. Alcatraz said the same thing the other day. It's almost like you two are avoiding each other.
Mm-hmm. New interface content available. We'll look into that. Yeah, that's the main 8 levels done. I guess next up we'll see what kind of secrets I can find around this island before I'm allowed to go anywhere else.